Here we have a 2020 Lincoln MKZ Hybrid. This one comes in ice mocha metallic on ebony leather seats. It has a 2-liter engine, made it to a CVT. And speculation has it that it's going to be the last year for the Lincoln MKZ. So there are your LED headlamps, LED daytime running lights. We've also got LED fog lamps. And there, of course, are your 19-inch aluminum wheels. You've got passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. And taking a look at the door trim here, you've got the Revel sound system. You've got 2-person memory seating, power door locks, power windows, power mirrors. It's a quick look at your steering wheel. And that driver's seat has power with power lumbar support. And there's a quick glance at your rear seat. And there's your door trim there. There's a look at the rear end. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the trunk. So compared to the normal MKZ, you lose all the space over here. And then, of course, you've got the battery pack that takes up that space. But I mean, still pretty good trunk space for groceries and things of that nature. And as for your passenger seat, you've got power with power lumbar support as well. And then there's the door trim for the passenger side. And we're just gonna take a look at what's under the hood. It's always kind of tricky. But there's your 2-liter and your electric motor there. So here you've got your infotainment system. You've got navigation. And then, of course, got your standard backup camera. You've got AM, FM, XM radio, along with Bluetooth streaming, as well as Bluetooth connection for your phone for making calls. And then if you want to control the climate from the touch screen, you can do that as well. But down here, you've got those climate controls, or you can actually push a button. So it's dual zone automatic, and you've got 3-stage heated seats as well. Got a USB port there. Here you've got your key fob with remote start. And then in here, got a little center console for additional storage. And then you've got this little sunroof here. And then there's your rear seat. And there you've got your glove compartment with your owner's manual. And then over here, you've got your adaptive cruise controls. And then you can change what's on the left side of your gauge cluster using these over here. And then you can change the right side using these over here. And then you've also got your Bluetooth as well as volume controls here. And that was the motor just starting back up after being in EV mode. So next we're gonna go ahead and take this MKZ Hybrid out on the road for a test drive. So far I'm really liking the ride quality. Even though it's a hybrid, it rides just as smooth as a regular MKZ. And on top of that, I really just like how the CVT handles the engine. Very smooth in terms of acceleration and letting off the gas, things of that nature. It's just driving very, very well. And that's the adaptive cruise control, slowing the car down and braking as well. And the transition from just battery power to gasoline is seamless. The gas engine cuts back on and you don't even hear it actually cut on. It just kind of fades in. And I really like that about this car. And for the most part, a lot of hybrids have noisy engines, but this one is really, really quiet, really refined. And you really have to listen to hear when it comes back on as opposed to the battery. Once again, the adaptive cruise is working. And it takes some getting used to, but I really like how it kind of brakes like a regular car. There's not a lot of that space in between myself and the car in front of me where someone might want to cut me off or something like that. But along with the ride quality, the ride itself is actually not loud at all, just for the most part. The cabin is very quiet inside. I don't hear a lot of noise from the tires, so I really like that. And for the most part, honestly, I would probably put the MKZ Hybrid over the regular MKZ just in terms of overall quality, just because the engine is not as noisy as the MKZ. I really like the CVT in here as opposed to the 6-speed automatic. And don't get me wrong, they're both decent, but I really like this hybrid. And of course you don't have the turbo boost, but really, I don't miss it. I just drove an MKZ Reserve, and I actually prefer this. And when you take corners in this one as well, you can kind of feel the bolsters, just how the seat's made, hold you in place. Especially on sharp corners. This car just drives so smoothly. And for the most part, the brakes are really good too. Even though they're supposed to be regenerative, they don't feel that way at all. And then we're just gonna gas it here. And for the most part with these hybrids, flooring it is gonna do more harm than good, and that's kind of what they're designed for. So just giving it half throttle and kind of just giving it throttle as opposed to going higher up in the RPMs is going to do you more good as opposed to just nailing it. And it does a decent job getting up there. And that's somewhere where the MKZ 2-liter turbo definitely has this car beat. But you're getting 42 miles a gallon in the city, you can't really complain. And another thing I like is this coach here on the right side of the gauge cluster. Just kind of tells you how your acceleration is, how your braking is, and how your cruising is, just to maximize fuel efficiency. And here you can see how it's kind of telling you where the battery's power is going and how the engine isn't on right now. So that's really cool to just kind of keep an eye on what your car is doing. But that brings me to an end of my review of the 2020 Lincoln MKZ Hybrid.